Kabir always wondered why he felt so tired, even on days when he hadn't done much. He wasn't running marathons. He wasn't drowning in tasks. But his mind, always loud, always busy. He'd wake up and instantly check his phone, scrolling through news, opinions, arguments. Then came school, where he worried about how he looked, how he sounded, how he was being judged. By the end of each day, he felt drained, like something had been taken from him. One evening, after a particularly rough day, Kabir sat in the garden behind his grandfather's house. The old man was watering plants, moving slowly, quietly. After a long silence, Kabir asked, "Why does my brain feel like it's constantly shouting?" His grandfather didn't look up. He just said, "Because you've been feeding it weeds." Kabir blinked. "What?" The old man stood, wiped his hands, and pointed to the patch of wild grass beside the roses. "You can't grow roses and expect weeds not to come. You have to choose what you tend to." Kabir stared at the garden, confused but intrigued. That night, he thought about it more. Was his mind a garden? And if so, what had he been planting there? The next morning, Kabir woke up and resisted the urge to check his phone first thing. Instead, he sat up in bed and looked outside. The garden was quiet, touched by early light. Dew clung to every leaf like a slow breath. He remembered what his grandfather had said. "You can't grow roses and expect weeds not to come." So that day, Kabir decided to observe. He paid attention to what he was feeding his mind, the videos he watched, the people he listened to, the thoughts he repeated to himself. And it wasn't pretty. He noticed how often he compared, how often he assumed the worst, how often he believed every anxious story his brain whispered. It felt like walking through a field of weeds he hadn't even realized he'd planted. Later that evening, he sat in the garden again. His grandfather was pruning a plant. "Did you water the mind today?" the old man asked. Kabir shrugged. "I think I've been watering the wrong things." His grandfather smiled. "Then stop pulling weeds and start planting better seeds." That night, Kabir didn't scroll before bed. He wrote instead, just one line, "I choose what grows in me." And for once, his mind felt a little quieter. Over the next few days, Kabir tried something new. Every time he caught himself feeding his mind junk, pointless scrolling, toxic comparisons, empty noise, he paused and replaced it with something different. A podcast that made him think, a walk in silence, writing down 3 things he was grateful for, even if they were small. At first it felt awkward, like trying to speak a new language. His mind still craved the old stuff, the quick fix, the easy escape. But slowly, the cravings faded. Instead of waking up anxious, he woke up with intention. Instead of ending the day drained, he ended it with a page of thoughts that made him feel rooted. One afternoon, his grandfather found him sitting quietly in the garden, notebook in hand. "What are you doing?" he asked. Kabir didn't look up. "Feeding my mind." The old man nodded, then pointed to a corner of the garden where wild grass used to grow. It was now full of marigolds. "You didn't fight the weeds," he said. "You outgrew them." Kabir smiled, understanding something he hadn't before. We don't fix the mind by force. We fix it by focus, by choosing what we give our attention to, day after day. That evening, Kabir met a friend at a cafe. They hadn't talked in weeks. His friend complained about everything: school, people, the news, even the weather. Kabir listened quietly, but halfway through he realized something. A month ago he would have joined in. He would have nodded, added his own list of complaints, fed that same noise. Now it felt different, like standing near smoke when you've started breathing clean air. After a pause, Kabir said softly, "Maybe we're focusing too much on what drains us." His friend blinked. "So what? Just ignore reality?" "No," Kabir replied. "But maybe we choose which parts of reality we grow." The conversation shifted. Not perfectly, not instantly. But Kabir left that cafe lighter than he arrived. That night, back in the garden, he sat under the stars and wrote, "Every word I let in is a seed. Every thought I repeat is water. Every habit is sunlight or shadow." He finally understood. You don't get a peaceful mind by accident. You cultivate it. Not once, not quickly, but like a garden, patiently, daily, intentionally. A few weeks later, Kabir's teachers started noticing something different about him. He wasn't louder. He didn't suddenly top the class, but he was more present, less reactive, more steady. When a classmate mocked his answer, he didn't spiral. When he forgot something, he didn't beat himself up for days. He just moved on, with awareness, not avoidance. One day his teacher asked him to stay after class. "You've changed," she said. "You seem quieter, but clearer." Kabir didn't know how to explain it all, so he just said, "I've been tending to my mind like it's a garden." The teacher smiled, not fully understanding, but sensing the truth in his voice. That night, Kabir returned to his journal. He didn't need to write a lot. He just scribbled a reminder across the top of the page. You become what you feed. Your thoughts become your soil. Your attention becomes your light. And in that quiet moment, surrounded by silence, not achievement, not noise, he felt proud. Not of a perfect mind, but of a healthier one. One Sunday morning, Kabir was in the garden again. His grandfather walked by and asked, "So, how's the mind?" Kabir smiled. "It's growing." They both looked at the rows of flowers now blooming where weeds once ruled. Some plants still struggled. Some corners still needed work. But the difference was undeniable. Not because Kabir had forced the garden into shape, but because he'd stayed with it, patiently, daily, gently. His grandfather handed him a small packet of new seeds. "More to plant," he said. Kabir nodded. Always. That evening, as the sky faded into soft blues and grays, Kabir wrote one last line in his journal. "Peace isn't something you find, it's something you grow." And from that day on, every time the noise returned, because it always would, Kabir didn't panic. He just returned to his garden, because he finally knew a calm mind isn't a gift. It's a choice you make every day, with what you watch, what you think, what you water.